Ah,
Hey, Randy,
finally your true nature.
I got a question.
Can you hear
What's
me?
wrong with you human beings? Can I have your glasses? I like them.
Mhm.
Hey, Randy, why are you ignoring me?
Hello.
Oh, you need to check the.
Uh,
He can't hear me.
ah,
Oh, you can hear me now? Did you fix it?
can you hear me? I can't hear you. Mhm. Just a minute. Can you hear me now? Just a second. Mhm. Okay, let me do this. Can you hear me now? Okay, I can't hear you.
Trying to kill me.
Now I can hear you.
Sure. Oh, sure. You were just trying to make me take off my real face.
Let me see if this will work now.
Oh, wait, is it because you were plugging your microphone in? I
Yeah,
think you have to hit something on your audio settings that in the little, there's a microphone at the bottom
yeah, let's
left of
see.
your, and then there's a little arrow next to the microphone.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, uh-oh. Did you plug it in again?
Yeah, let me, something happened
Where's
here.
Vanna White? She knows how to work it.
I don't know what happened. Oh, there we go. Okay. I'll quit messing with it. Hi.
Not high enough.
That's always true.
What the hell is going on is my question this week. Like,
Are we recording?
oh yeah, we've been recording this whole time.
Okay. Okay. First of all, I would like to thank our would-be sponsor, Ralph Lauren. Okay. Nice jacket, right? And, if they wanted to be our sponsor, we would accept that, even though it's a small crowd. All right. Made in Italy. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
this is a fancy
And
wool
then,
suit. Yeah.
yeah, then I'd like to give a shout out to whoever designed this shirt and tell them, oh, Canali. Yeah.
Yeah, they could sponsor us.
Yeah. And anyway, whoever designed this shirt, I just want to tell them, lay off the gummies. You know what I mean? And, and it's one of the things I noticed some of the shows have gummies as sponsors, and I wanted to tell people we will never have gummies as a sponsor. I figure people are impaired enough, they don't need any help, right? So anyway, there we go. That's today's would-be sponsors, along with Kurz and Waffle House and Cheetos.
They're supposed to be putting crickets in Cheetos soon.
They're what?
They're supposed to be putting
Yeah,
crickets in
yeah,
Cheetos soon. In our
yeah.
Quaker Oats, in our Cheetos, and in our, I guess, all-purpose flour. So my brioche is now going to be bugyoche.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody needs a little protein.
Yeah, but the problem with crickets is they carry diseases, so like we don't really want to eat them, do we? Like,
Yeah, I know.
can't we eat something that's annoying like mosquitoes?
Well, it's kind of like politicians. You want to eat them either, right?
No, they could be more toxic than any cricket.
Even if they ground them up and put them in McDonald's hamburgers, I just don't think that's going to be a good thing, right?
Is that where everybody who disappears goes, into McDonald's hamburgers?
I think it's a potential. We don't want to cast aspirations on McDonald's Corporation, you know.
Oh, I think McDonald's has high aspirations, but I think we're casting aspersions. Mm, boom. Those guys, like McDonald's, McYucky, McYuck, McIcky.
You
Have
know
your
what,
ick, Mac.
what amazed me? I was coming out of California last year
I'm
and
sorry.
stopping like at Yuma, Arizona or somewhere, and the hamburgers were $18. I mean,
They
it
must have had extra special not beef in there to jack the price up like that.
yeah, I figure they're just telling people they ship people to El Salvador and places like that. You know, it's like that's a lot of expense, you know. We import a lot of beef from South America. I mean, you know,
Listen, you could go to the barber shop and see Sweeney Todd, right? Like he was a guy. They
yeah,
That was a thing on
yeah,
Broadway.
yeah, yeah,
Like all fiction is based on something, isn't it?
yeah, that's right.
Like what came first, Sweeney Todd, or what his story was based upon?
Who, what?
What came first, Sweeney Todd and what he was doing, or somebody, that some idea that was happening somewhere else that they made him be the guy?
Oh, they're just all copycats, you know.
Like Melania copying Michelle Obama's speech word for word, like
No,
that.
more like one president copying another, we'll call it, right?
You know, I think a lot of people like to copy each other. I remember being upset with somebody I was seeing back in the day because they kept going to this place called the Kit Kat Club.
I have heard
And
of
I
that.
didn't like that.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah,
didn't like
I
that.
mean, birds of a feather have to flock together. That's why you have the Senate and House of Representatives all kind of hang together, you know.
Well, that limited hang, you know, but there have been many limited hangs within the structure. I mean, there's
Well, and,
Majestic 12, and then there are
and
all the little
and I just want to clarify that they all hang together is not a call to action. Okay.
but it could be if we got really upset. I don't know that there's
And,
enough rope.
and it's not a reference to the experiences of Epstein. How's that?
Like I just insinuated.
Yeah, we want to clarify all that, you
Hey,
know.
look, I've got a very long braid that could be used.
Mm,
Want to
yeah,
hang around with me?
yeah.
That was funny.
Anyway, you got a
Out there
question
too.
today? What's your question?
What's my qu
Hmm. Hmm.
What's wrong with you human beings?
Just remember the current political um, population is an outcome from people who decided that this was the ideal way to run the world, you know?
But that was decided a long time ago. Okay, so like, everybody's just like the obfuscation party out there. Like, how is anybody? Okay, let's start again. Hey, Randy,
Yes.
this has been an ongoing collaboration for a while now. I mean, how many generations deep are we into public perception being manipulated to the point where we can't tell?
Actually, it's about 5.5, so that places it around 100 years. So, the thing about it is, remember the Writers Club and the book, kind of like the script we're following. They have flashbacks, and so you're going along, and like all of a sudden now you need a flashback to Obama, or you need a flashback. Like, wasn't there somebody named Biden president, or wasn't there a war in Ukraine? Those are all flashbacks that they keep throwing back in, and they really haven't added to the story. I mean,
Well,
we need some new things to happen,
I wouldn't encourage them, man, because they're talking about 6G is going to be the new thing, and they're using consciousness or our physical bodies or both as a substrate.
Right, right,
How, like, and they're just go plowing along because everybody's so busy watching Epstein or not,
yeah.
and it's at what point, like, this is where, I'm guilty of watching the Y files and Hecklefish, like, and they just did something this on CIA, and how it's just been a deliberate psyop, and they say they stopped because it was illegal, but they didn't stop. They just put the pedal to the metal is what they did. So
Oh yeah.
like the whole idea that we're being presented is an illegal psyop on us, but nobody's arresting anybody.
Well, no, because the thing about fragmenting it, who's responsible? Let's look at it that way.
We're responsible for
Is
not
that
paying attention.
as long as you're doing this, there's nobody to catch. You see what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like
but
they
this
did it
is not
right.
acceptable. This is what's going on. Like, I have
Yeah, but
personal things
okay.
going on
So
right now that
let's
they're
deal
trying
with
to
the
do
they.
that.
So there's a they that are doing it, and then who the hell's the they that are going to stop it? And the answer is there is no they that's going to stop it. So you're going to get 5G, 6G, 7G, 8G. I mean, it
Okay,
sounds,
how do you stop iterating into this freaking dimension? How's that? I don't want to come back here next time.
I mean, this is the best popcorn show you could ever watch, right?
It is, but it's kind of like if you know better, it's kind of painful to watch, isn't it? Really?
Well, it's actually kind of humorous because all it does is reveal, depending on the commentary, not ours, the IQ level of the people that are engaging in it.
Well, we're back to all the Qs then. Besides, not QAnon. That's the only one we're
Mhm.
not doing. We're doing IQ,
Uh,
EQ, spiritual Q,
yeah.
energetic Q, subtle energy Q. Well, you made the list of all of the ones, and we're only aware as human beings in society, usually about emotional quotient and intelligence quotient. There are so many more.
I, I bet you couldn't find out of 100 people in any given state the idea that an IQ exists or an EQ exists, right?
Well, they understand IQ because they understand either they're not as smart, which then makes them angry at people who are smarter
Aha.
than they are.
Oh, now wait. Now you've hit upon something.
Oh, I always
Hmm.
hit on something.
So if you were going to write a story, you're actually writing to an intellectual quotient level. In other words, if you're publishing quantum physics, you're limited to about 124 and higher IQ. Okay, but if you're talking about craft beers and whiskey, now we can go all the way down to about 75 on that.
Well, sure. Or on popping off. People love to do that when they're bored. Like, what else can I do?
Yeah,
My new
yeah,
friend.
yeah. So so
No.
we could give a like what's the IQ level of some of the events that have happened
Like
lately?
negative 100.
Yeah. And then you're guilty of like how many hours a day do you spend watching this crap? Right?
Um, I sometimes have it in the background while I'm doing other things that I'm constant on which I concentrate, and then if my ear picks something up, then I'll stop and pay attention just to see how stupid it is so that I can come back and talk to you about it.
Okay.
Is that bad?
Yeah, so we're entertained by stupid,
That's
and
not good.
I don't think we could have had better cast and characters and narrative than we have right now. How's that? With a few exceptions.
Who doesn't like being entertained? But when it's at the cost of a whole species, it's kind of messed up. Like, so I asked you earlier about somebody, and then you said that they were completely Looney Tunes, and I'm not going to mention names, but hey,
Yeah,
Randy, I have a question.
yeah.
What is 20 and back? What is
Once upon a time, and by the way, I have decided that I would be the leader of the Blue Chicken cult because somebody had to step up. All right. And there's a big blue chicken at the museum in DC. I mean, we're talking like 16-foot tall
Is
blue.
it named Corey Good?
I, no, we're not supposed to mention names like that.
Come
But
on,
um,
we're
anyway, I'm
talking
the
about
I'm the
Trump.
new head of the blue chicken cult, and in fact, I was trying to figure out how to make blue chicken enchiladas the other day. How's that? So anyway, 20 and back is a supposedly a figment of someone's imagination, and they dreamed it all up. And the answer is no, they didn't. It was a science fiction book written back in the 70s. Okay, and they borrowed that storyline. And here's the problem with it: you have several people other than the one you mentioned who came along and go, "Oh yeah, me too." Right?
Hashtag.
And I like one of them, he said that he had had an alien wife, an alien baby, and stuff. Now that's really getting interesting. So here's the problem with 20 and back. The implication is that there would be no loss of data. All gained data from experience would be erased, and you would be left with a full set of data from the exact moment you disappeared. Now, if you have a problem with the physics with all that, then you're very intelligent because it doesn't work. And then the amount of energy and the amount of, we'll call it IQ or AI that would be required to do that is basically doesn't exist, except in science fiction. But for people to embrace it as the truth, just tells you what their IQ is. That's all.
Okay, can I ask you another question, Randy?
Oh, yeah.
What is true? Give me one
Ah,
thing that's true, or give our audience one thing that's true, and we might expand to like two things that are actually true. Like, ouch, that hurts. I
it-
must be
the,
alive.
the problem is context. Okay. So the only truth there is absolutely is your name. How's that?
And even that is something that was given to you.
Oh,
And
yeah. Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
so how do they know that that's my name when they
Well,
decide that that's what my name is?
and I have met people who have changed their name to things like Raven and different things like that, right?
I
And
was upset that my mom didn't call me Violet. Then she laughed at me, so I went back to my room feeling really dumb.
I actually had an Aunt Violet. We won't talk about her.
Okay,
So,
we'll just
so
send her some love.
anyway, that's um, that's all you're dealing with.
Okay, are there such things as super soldiers?
Okay, what the government did was came up with a program where they wanted to enhance the capabilities of, we'll say, a regular soldier. Okay. Now, those enhancements can take the form of supplements. They can take the form of steroids. You know, you see the big bodybuilders and stuff. And the problem is that you can't necessarily upgrade their intelligence. We're back to that again, right? And so what you can do is program them for responses. That's just standard programming. And so what they came up with is what's called external super soldiers. In other words, they came up with exoskeletons and night vision and all these different things that enhance our own innate abilities. Okay.
That are things that you put on and
Right.
can take off. But have they actually genetically engineered have they tested human
But
beings to try to put whatever to actually make them an augmented human from the inside out? Besides steroids.
yes, but you can't necessarily upgrade IQ. Okay.
So
Because
if you've got a
it's
big
I
scary
mean,
car that drives itself, but it's stupid, so
well,
it's gonna
like
do
Hitler
stupid.
would take pretty girls and pretty boys and put them together and they had children and they were pretty. We have the same thing in Los Angeles, but not necessarily a great IQ outcome from those experiments. And the thing I told them, actually told the DOD, is that there's ways to enhance your reception and perception and awareness. And that's the only way you could actually get ahead of the curve. So the only super soldier that would really exist is somebody that was super intuitive.
Right,
Uh,
that's what I was gonna say. By feeling into the energy around you and being able to front load things that
Right.
right,
So
that
what I
some of us do accidentally without controlling it.
so what I teach, I told them I can teach the ultimate martial art. And the ultimate martial art is don't be there. Don't be wherever the bullet's going to be, where the bomb's going to be,
That's where
wherever,
you're not gonna
the
be.
lightning's going to strike. And that requires you to be able to access your intuition, which is interesting because it's a uniquely Native American thing. In other words, high intuition. I, I just worked with a Native American Special Forces soldier this past week, and I he had been raised what we call off res. And I was trying to explain to him the skill sets that he was missing by not having been raised on the reservation and with his tribe. So, so these are some of the skill sets that I was supposed to kind of like teach people.
Mhm.
And later they decided they didn't want people to learn these things. I
Yeah,
mean, if you
because
get,
then they can see through and, like, know when somebody's lying to them, like their
oh
boss,
yeah,
or they're on some
yeah. So
fraudulent mission, they'll know.
So a super soldier, there was a set of books written by, let's see, Gordon R. Dixon,
Mhm.
and
Okay.
they dealt with the Dorsai, and the Dorsai were quote unquote super soldiers through generations of inbreeding, we'll call it, or selective breeding, but they were still just warriors. They were super at it, and the books are fantastic because at the end of one of them, it says the only super soldier that could ever exist is one that's intuition exceeds reality.
Which is actually possible if you completely remove yourself from this insanity.
Yes. Yes.
I'm trying to create a reality that allows me to do exactly that because I've about had it, and I would think personally I'd like to have options. I can always come back to crazy, but I'd like to be able to go someplace where the quiet is scary. Um, I'm looking for all the things that scare people.
Yeah. So what is true is all reality is local. Okay.
All reality is local, but all intuition is non-local, right?
Right. Yeah. So people talk about, say, the war in Ukraine or Israel, whatever, that's non-local, unless you're in the middle of it, right?
Then it's
If
right.
you're not in the middle of there, let's say you're in the middle of Arizona or New Mexico, Oklahoma, Texas, there is no war in Ukraine. There's no war in Israel. There's no such thing as Washington, D.C. It doesn't exist. It is
Yeah,
only,
the only thing that exists for me right now is New York City, and
yeah. But even that, you only encompass portions of it.
well, I tried not to encompass any of it and stay in my apartment because
And
I
that's
think
an automatic feature of human consciousness is like you're not connected to the 12 million people there.
On purpose.
connected to you, but at some level, the answer is yes, you are. Right.
Right.
And
Right.
that
Energetically, I'm entangled with them because we're in the same space and a
right,
collective in the same physical space.
right.
So that's like a
Unless,
de facto entanglement.
yeah, yeah, unless you
Right.
can block it, which is another technique. Okay. Literally, you clear the field so you can pay attention to what you need to pay attention to. And not blue chickens and not 20 and back and all that. That was just the most insane giggle fest I ever heard in my life.
What
So,
exactly happened with Truman and Eisenhower? Is there some kind of like reptilian or what do you call it? Nordics and all that? Is
no,
we understand it as all that actually something, but not what we were told it is? Does something
no, all you do,
all
let's say, what do they call it? I am a subject matter expert. How's that? And and if you told me to write a story about aliens, I've got to pick, and I've got to pick something that people can relate to. So I'm going to go back and go, well, hell, there were thousands of years of Nordic, only we'll call them Viking gods and religion, and then we had a bunch of them from the Middle East, and we called them Elohim, and then we had a bunch of them from Israel, and we ended up with two or three religions out of that, and now it's just like science fiction writers. You can draw from any one of them, and remember what we do. Anytime there's a lull in the conversation, we do a flashback and go, "Oh my God," right? And then we always go, "Which one?" But we throw that in. So the Nordics is the Vikings, and they went to Valhalla and had a good time partying,
right?
right?
And there was Loki and there was Thor and there was, all the
And
things.
then the Greys, I don't know who the hell came up with those, but they must have been tripping.
I guess maybe, like flying reindeer. It's because they were eating mushrooms and peeing in the snow with the mushrooms, and then the people ate it and the reindeers were flying. And next thing you know, we've got Rudolph. Like, is aliens any different from that? Like,
Well,
not really.
number one, the potential for transferring physical matter over galactic distances is zero. In other words, there's nobody coming here on a spaceship. Okay.
Is there such a thing as portals, like time portals or portals that you can
Well,
walk through and end up into a different dimension? Is that
uh,
real?
there is, but it gets into the 20 and back thing about what kind of mechanism and what kind of power would you need to facilitate that type of action?
Probably some kind of occult power, some kind of dimensional understanding of how to bend what we are told is time and manipulate reality.
Well, okay, just think about, let's say you have even a pencil in front of you
I
and you
do.
want
It's
it
right
to
here.
disappear and land and be on the moon instantly. How's that? Now,
Well, I want to disappear and be someplace else instantly. How do I do that?
well, actually, there
Help.
there was a book written in 19, I think 13 or something. A lady went to Tibet and she basically described bilocation. And that is actually a reality or a truth. There is potential to move yourself around, and I've talked about it because the language I came up with is space is aspected and so is time. And if you throw out some of the dimensions or aspects of space, there's eight of them, and then eight reciprocal. If you throw those out of the way, you actually transverse space quicker than you would if you had to go through all those aspects. And that's how come time is mutable and goes up and down, slow, fast, all that. It's just your speed of progress through spatial aspects or dimensions. I've talked about that in some videos and stuff.
Oh, I'm sure you have, but I feel like everybody's so wrapped up in Epstein and the Ukraine, P. Diddy, like he went away. Um,
That
wh- P.
that
Who?
was so
P.
last week.
Bathrooms over there. Like, you know,
Yeah. It's you know, when they keep hammering the same scene over and over, it's kind of like these AI movies. They grab, 300 movies and pull, snatches of them out and weld them together and go, woohoo. Well, that's the one
Like
we're going.
trauma training, but like extended.
Yeah.
It's trauma training, seeing the
Yeah.
same dumb stories over and over until they're so much part of your collective subconscious, not just each individual. Like this is, but is somebody not doing that on purpose so that we can never get to bilocation as a way of distraction and entertainment? Like
You
what?
can't get to the present. What they're doing is interfering with you being in the present. Because if you're in the present, which doesn't exist, by the way, and I'm not going to get into that, but if you're quote unquote in the present, then you would be able to make choices. But as long as they keep you behind and in the past, you're not capable of
Or
picking it.
scared of the future. Don't forget that one.
Well, that's even rougher. Okay. Actually, being in the future is a form of bilocation. And then they wrestled it down and made it scientific, and they called it remote viewing, which I think is a stupid term, my own opinion, right?
I always felt it should be called remote feeling because it's more like you're feeling into stuff and then the feedback of whatever's coming through. I don't know. I don't have words for it. I just know how to do it sometimes.
Yeah, everybody, yeah.
Everybody can.
Yeah, you can drift along the timelines and see things that have high potential.
Right. And then it's up to you not to, I feel like if you emotionally disentangle from the result and just sort of put it out there and like look at it and try to just sort of allow yourself to get there, it's easier than forcing it.
Yeah, I'll give an example. How many presidential candidates since 1950 have said that if elected, they would reduce the budget? And then why do people keep electing people that say they will reduce the budget? It's a, and then now we got rid of that one. Forget that. Now we have like, I will arrest my predecessor. That's a new game, right? And if that falls apart, because nobody can talk about Biden right now, so now we got to talk about Obama, and oh, and then we got to go to Clinton or one of the Bushes. I don't know. It's like you got 17 different directions you can take this movie, and all you got to do is buy some popcorn and see which one comes up. How's that?
That's great. Hey, Randy, I got a question.
Yes.
What is Skull and Bones? What is that?
Skull and Bones. It's a group of prosperous young men trying to make their way into the world.
I guess we should have compassion for them. Mm,
No.
oh, come on. Come on. Send them some waffles and Coors beer.
Oh, that's it. I think that probably their life would be improved if they went to the Waffle House, drank Coors, Wharf, Ralph Lauren.
Or
And
cannoli. I've got some nice cannoli here.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's I think we're back to those gummies though, and I refuse to have gummies as a appetizer.
I guess you
It's
never want to
like
go on
some
the Sean
people.
Ryan show. He's going to try to force you to take gummies home if
Yeah, he
you
gives gummies as a gift. I'm like, here, have some drugs. Only
Actually, his
they're
gummies
not
are
drugs.
CBD.
They're
They're
not
not
drugs. Huh?
they're not technically drugs. His only have
Yeah.
CBD.
What's
There's no
there?
psychotropic activity going on and
Yeah.
Sean's not doing that.
Yeah. So man's got to do what a man's got to do.
Is
Oh, we're
that
not
one
talking about skull and bones anymore.
well, yeah, I was just gonna say a man's gotta do what a man's gotta do, and I was gonna say, is that when a woman gets to say ew?
Yeah, right, right, right.
Ew.
Yeah.
No.
And
Go
for skull and
bilocate.
bones, all those people with skull and bones, please give Geronimo's skull back to us, or Sitting Bulls, or whoever the hell you're drinking wine out of. Right?
Listen, that's some messed up stuff. Like I
Yeah, it's called repatriation. We Native Americans would like to see that happen. Of course, they'd have to do a dozen clearing ceremonies and blessing ceremonies if that thing ever came their way.
Oh yeah, I wish we could bulldoze Manhattan and plant all the trees back. At one point, this was the most beautiful,
They were. It
beautiful
was a hardwood
forested
forest.
area. It was pristine.
Yeah,
Like you could drink Hudson River water. It was beautiful.
yeah,
And this is, what, 200 years ago? That's
yeah.
not a long time.
Yeah.
It took very little time for us to beat
Obviously,
pestilence
you're
that we
you're
don't
talking
want to
about
see.
progress, obviously, right? You know the way I look at it too. In, in the 1700s, they devised an idea. They called it the Constitution as a way to run a country, and and they may have been successful back then. I don't know, but the problem is there was only say 1 million or 2 million people here that weren't Native American, and now there's like 350 million, and you're still trying to play by the same playbook.
See,
And it's like, so what you see is all the deviation and corruption that goes on because people decided to go their own way, right?
you can go
And
your own way. What would happen if there was a movement to repatriate this and all the white people decided to off themselves and give just relieve you all?
there's, let's not talk about white people.
I don't like them.
No. White people are no more to blame for everything than anybody else. It takes a collective effort to get to this level of insanity. You can't do it by yourself or with one group. I don't care what they say.
No, but I feel like the Native American nations were so taken advantage. How do you fix that? How like it got to be fixed, man. It can't keep go. How
I
What
just
would it take to stop the lunacy and put everybody's feet back on the pedals? Would you have to remove? I mean, if anybody should be practicing eugenics, it should be the Native Americans to get rid of all the pestilence. But they would never do that because they don't operate like that.
no. That's the problem. They are not like you. Okay.
I don't want to be like me.
Yeah.
I'm
Politicians are not like you. It's a subset. Okay. It requires a certain capacity and proclivity, and it may be that some of those are highly perverted. How's that? See,
disappointing.
the thing to remember is we're having fun now. Don't lose sight of that, right?
Yeah, okay. You know, I did some yoga before we started recording, and now I feel like I need to roll around on the floor, take a cold shower, meditate, and do some more yoga. Like I really just don't want to participate in.
See, and for people that can't do that, God made alcohol.
Well, I was going to say pornography.
No, that's a strange subject. Um,
You're telling me.
it's like self-indulgence. Okay.
Self-indulgence, and I mean, I guess the word perversion can come back into it. Major distraction and diversion. Um, a weaponization of things that are natural, but then
Anything that can be pumped up to the point that it occupies your attention is basically not healthy.
well, that pretty much includes everything out the window that's infrastructure and operational.
Yes, yes. I tell people you're better off spending your time learning a foreign language for entertainment purposes, if nothing else. But um, it would be time better spent than listening to YouTube and Facebook, other than our show, other than our show, right?
You listen to everybody, not just us.
Yeah.
But we're saying things that are popping all the bubbles. There are no aliens. There's no 20 and back. There's
No.
spiders on Mars. There might be
Well,
jump rooms.
20 and back is just what do you call that? Reincarnation.
Fancy word for reincarnation.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's a reincarnation myth that has been reworked, okay, into popular mythology and scientific terms. We can look at a lot of them like that, you know.
But why would people want to accept what we're discussing as being valid when they are so addicted to what we're told reality is? It's an addiction, I feel like.
Because any reality is better than the one you're in. That's what they have
But
programmed it.
that's a lie. My reality is not worse. Their reality is worse than what I live. And when people
Oh,
try to impose their stories on what
yeah,
I'm experiencing, that's what perverts it.
yeah.
Like I can ignore behavior, but when other people put attention on it, put a spin on it, and only after that does there become a situation of potential physical danger. Like this is, I don't know. It's weird how people like
It,
that.
it, it's a small world after all. If you can live in your own reality, oh my, you are so much better off than people that live in other people's realities.
Well, that would make an attorney just a really sad specimen living in everybody else's arguments.
Oh yeah, why are you all up in Diddy's business or Trump's or Epstein? Okay, it's like we say, what does that do for you? How does that improve your life to know this stuff? To be engaged in it, to jack your emotions, to hijack your intellect, to throw you off course from moving forward in your own life and improving it. You know, Trump doesn't make me money. Epstein doesn't make me money. P. Diddy doesn't make me healthy, we'll call it. Baby oil may have its uses, but I'm not familiar with
And wow.
them.
Wow.
That may be a form of denial. We don't know.
That was the most inappropriate I've ever heard you get without it being instigated by my silliness. That was good, Randy. Thanks.
Oh my God.
Clearly, I've rubbed off on you a little. No oil involved. It's gross.
Yeah, so to speak, right?
Ew. Just ew. You know.
Anyway, we'll get the show this week. I think a big show's coming. Uh, since everybody likes to throw out predictions, I say at the end of August, like, might not want to be in Yellowstone.
Yeah, there's definitely some correlation between the space weather we discussed
Yeah,
and all of these earthquakes. One off Alaska, 7 point something, one off of the I think right off Kamchatka, I think, Russia, right next to
yeah,
Japan, right there. There's another good shaker, and then another good. There's some tectonic plate is going to start some trouble.
yeah. I think Japan is now deserving of the title of shaky land instead of Los Angeles, you know.
Yeah, their shaking has definitely trumped LA's, not to use a
Yeah.
perverted word.
Oh my God.
Mm. Where's Melania? Where's Barron? What are they doing?
Oh,
Been awfully quiet. Are they in
wait.
Israel with Epstein?
I wanted people to offer an apology to Melania because I think that she may naively have decided that she was going to have a good and uneventful life this lifetime. How's that?
So much for that.
Yeah, there we go. And so much for that for us too. I
All right,
thought,
well, see you next week.
huh?
Love you, mean it.
What's what?
I said, we'll see you next week. Love you, mean it.
Oh, yeah,
Or something. Are we done?
might as well. God, God bless Melania.
I blow you kisses.
Adios. That's alien speak, by the way.
I almost hit the stop button, but I'm glad I didn't. Adios.
Okay, bye. Oh no.
Adios, amigos.
Yeah. Later.